What if I told you that your legs aren't weak because you're old, but because they've been starved of the one thing they need to stay strong? Narration begins, storytelling style of a seasoned American doctor. I've spent the last 30 years working with older adults, from the bustling streets of Chicago to the quiet, sunlit porches of small-town Georgia. One thing I've learned? Weak legs don't always come with age. They come from neglect, nutritional neglect. To be precise, let me take you back to one of my earliest patients. Her name was Eleanor, a 76-year-old retired schoolteacher. She walked into my clinic using a cane and sat down slowly, her breath slightly short. "I'm just getting old," she said with a weary smile. But I knew better. After some simple tests and a long talk, it became clear. Eleanor wasn't just aging. She was underfed. Her muscles, her bones, her strength, they were hungry. Not for more calories, but for the right ones. For nutrients that actually build the body back. That's what this part of our story is all about. The foundation of strength, the nutrients your body is begging for. Especially after 60. Chapter 1. Why muscles fade, and why they don't have to. Most people think losing strength in your legs is just part of life. They think, "I'm slowing down. My body's wearing out." But let me paint a different picture. Imagine a house built from bricks. Now imagine that every week, 1 or 2 bricks go missing. Slowly, the structure weakens, not because the house is old, but because it's being depleted and never repaired. That's what happens with your muscles and bones. After age 50, we naturally start to lose muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia. It's slow, often invisible, but it's not just because of aging. It's because your body no longer gets enough of what it needs to rebuild muscle and maintain bone strength. And the culprits? They're not a mystery. The biggest ones are lack of high-quality protein, deficiency in vitamin D, low intake of omega-3 fatty acids, not enough magnesium or calcium. Each of these is like a missing ingredient in a recipe. And when you leave one out, the whole dish collapses. Chapter 2. Protein, your muscle's favorite building block. Let's talk protein, not the kind you find in donuts or white bread, but complete, high-quality protein, the kind your muscles recognize and know how to use. You see, every time you walk, stand, bend, or even laugh, your muscles are working, and every one of those actions causes microscopic tears, tiny breakdowns that need to be repaired. What repairs them? Protein. I always tell my older patients this: you wouldn't build a fence without wood. So don't expect your body to build muscle without protein. Some of the best sources? Greek yogurt. It's rich in both casein and whey, offering both slow and fast digesting proteins. Plus, it's easy to eat and gentle on older stomachs. Eggs. Nature's perfect protein. One egg contains all 9 essential amino acids. And don't skip the yolk. That's where the vitamin D and choline live. Beans and legumes, for plant-based folks. These are fantastic, packed with protein and fiber. They support blood sugar and gut health. 2. Let me tell you about Walter, a former factory worker from Michigan. At 82, he could barely stand without help. His meals were mostly toast, coffee, and canned soup. We added just 2 eggs a day and a cup of yogurt with lunch. 6 weeks later, no more Walker. It wasn't magic, it was nutrition. Chapter 3. Bones need more than calcium, the vitamin D connection. Now, let's talk about bones, the framework of your body. Most people think bones are just there, static, but bones are alive, constantly breaking down and rebuilding. And what do they need for that rebuilding? Yes, calcium. But calcium without vitamin D is like trying to build a wall with bricks and no mortar. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium from the foods you eat. Without it, you could eat all the dairy in the world and still suffer from weak, brittle bones. Where do you get it? Fatty fish like salmon. Just 2 servings a week can provide a hefty dose. Egg yolks, again, don't toss the yolk. That's where the D lives. Sunlight, your skin can make vitamin D from the sun. But many older adults don't get enough sun exposure. I had one patient, Rosa, who hadn't been outside much in years. Her vitamin D levels were rock bottom. After adding a bit of sunshine to her day and some salmon to her meals, her energy came back, and her posture improved. It wasn't a miracle. It was biology. Chapter 4. Omega-3s, the anti-inflammatory weapon. Inflammation is like rust. Slowly, Silently, it breaks things down, in your muscles and bones. Chronic inflammation can make it harder to recover after activity. It can worsen arthritis. It can even reduce your appetite, keeping you from eating the foods your body desperately needs. This is where omega-3 fatty acids come in. They're natural anti-inflammatories. Where to find them? Walnuts, a great snack, especially for older adults who have trouble chewing meat. Salmon and sardines, easy to prepare, full of flavor, and packed with omega-3s. Chia seeds and flaxseed, great additions to smoothies or oatmeal. Inflammation often hides in pain. If your knees ache or your legs throb at night, you might be dealing with it. Reducing it through diet can make movement more comfortable, making it easier to stay active, which in turn keeps muscles strong. Chapter 5. Micronutrients that make a macro difference. We can't forget the little guys: magnesium, potassium, zinc, and B vitamins. Magnesium helps muscles contract and relax properly. Without it, cramps and twitching are common. Potassium regulates muscle and nerve function. Bananas are great, but so are beans and leafy greens. Calcium, of course, is crucial for bones, but without enough magnesium and vitamin K2, calcium can end up in the wrong places, like arteries. Zinc and B vitamins help your body repair tissue and use energy efficiently. The older we get, the harder it is to absorb these from food. That's why quality matters. Whole foods, minimally processed, eaten consistently, that's the key. Chapter 6. Putting it all together, the muscle and bone meal plan. Here's a simple example of a muscle and bone building day of meals for seniors. Breakfast: 2 eggs, with yolks. 1 slice whole grain toast. Half an avocado, for potassium and healthy fats. Green tea or water. Lunch: grilled salmon. Spinach salad with walnuts and vinaigrette. Greek yogurt with berries for dessert. Dinner: bean and vegetable stew. Brown rice or quinoa. Steamed broccoli. Snacks: banana or pear. A handful of almonds or walnuts. It's not complicated. It's not expensive. It's not extreme. But it works. Conclusion: you're not too old to rebuild. Eleanor, Walter, Rosa, they weren't special cases. They were simply willing to believe something radical, that they weren't too old to get stronger. I've seen 90-year-olds walk better than 60-year-olds. I've seen men and women trade walkers for tennis shoes. And I've seen what happens when someone believes in the healing power of food. So if your legs are weak, don't give up. Start rebuilding, one meal at a time. And remember this: the body may age, but with the right foundation, your strength, your real strength, can last a lifetime. Stay tuned for part 2, where we explore the nervous system and circulation, the hidden engines that power your legs and how food can supercharge them. Part 2. The transmission system, nutrients that help muscles work smoothly. Have you ever tried to get out of a chair and felt like your legs just didn't want to cooperate? Like something deep inside your body just refused to send the message to move? That's not just getting older, that's your body's transmission system starting to sputter. And if we don't feed it right, it'll stall altogether. But there's good news. Just like a well-oiled machine, our muscles and nerves can run smoothly again, with the right nutrients. Understanding the muscle transmission system. You see, our muscles aren't independent workers. They're more like team players in a carefully coordinated system. The command center, our brain, sends signals down through the spinal cord, into the nerves, and finally into the muscles. This complex process is what allows us to walk, lift a spoon, or even wiggle a toe. But for this relay to work, we need key nutrients acting as messengers, lubricants, and power boosters. As a doctor who's spent over 4 decades studying human movement and muscle health in seniors, I can tell you, when people start stumbling or getting leg cramps, the problem is often in this transmission system, not just in the muscles themselves. So let's dive into the unsung heroes, the nutrients that keep this system humming. The key nutrients that keep the engine running. Magnesium, the muscle relaxer. If potassium is the spark, magnesium is the brake. Without enough magnesium, muscles stay in a contracted state, causing cramps and spasms. I've had patients who couldn't sleep due to nighttime leg cramps, only to discover their diets lacked magnesium-rich foods like spinach, almonds, and black beans. Story example: Mrs. Jenkins, 72, came to my clinic with a cane and a grimace. Every night, her calves would cramp so badly she'd wake up in tears. She thought it was arthritis. But a simple dietary change, adding a magnesium supplement and eating more leafy greens, reduced her cramps by 80% within 2 weeks. She now gardens again, pain-free. Potassium, the spark plug of movement. Potassium helps generate the electrical impulses that trigger muscle contractions. It's like the little spark that gets the engine turning. Bananas are a well-known source. But sweet potatoes, white beans, and avocados are even richer. Low potassium? That means slower signals, weaker movements, and more fatigue. That's why I always recommend seniors get their potassium levels checked during annual physicals. Calcium, the muscle communicator. Everyone knows calcium strengthens bones. But fewer know that it also helps muscles contract and nerves transmit signals. Without it, communication between nerves and muscles breaks down. Dairy, tofu, sardines, and fortified plant milks are excellent sources. Vitamin D, the signal booster. Calcium can't do its job without vitamin D. It acts like a radio antenna, improving how cells receive messages. Vitamin D also strengthens bones and enhances balance, critical for preventing falls. Story example. Mr. Alvarez, 68, loved hiking, but over time, he felt wobbly and unsure on his feet. Blood tests showed he was deficient in vitamin D within 3 months of supplementation. He regained confidence and now volunteers as a trail guide for senior hikes in Arizona. B vitamins, the energy conductors. Especially B1, thiamine, B6, and B12. These are critical for healthy nerves. Without enough B12, seniors may feel numbness, tingling, or even electric shocks in their legs and feet. Animal proteins, eggs, and fortified cereals can help meet these needs. Story example. Ethel, an 80-year-old retired teacher, came to me after tripping 3 times in 1 month. She felt like her feet were asleep, even while walking. A B12 deficiency was the culprit. After 3 months of treatment, she said it was like waking up her legs from a deep sleep. Choline, the communication link. Choline helps make acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that tells your muscles to move. Without it, the whole chain of command falters. Eggs, liver, and broccoli are rich sources. Putting it all together, real food for real results. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but here's the truth. You don't need a medicine cabinet full of pills. You need a plate full of real, whole foods. Let's break it down with a sample daily menu designed for smooth muscle transmission. Breakfast. 2 eggs, for choline and B vitamins. Whole grain toast, for magnesium and B1. A glass of fortified almond milk, for calcium and vitamin D. Lunch. Grilled salmon salad with spinach, avocado, and olive oil dressing. A banana for dessert. Snack. Handful of almonds and a small yogurt cup. Dinner. Stir-fried tofu with broccoli, bell peppers, and brown rice. Sweet potato on the side. It's simple, delicious, and gives your body the tools it needs to keep your muscles and nerves working in sync. The power of practice, movement, and mindset. Of course, nutrients alone aren't enough. They're the tools, but you have to build the house. That means daily movement, gentle leg stretches, tai chi, short walks around the block. Every bit counts. And remember, improving your body's transmission system isn't just about movement. It's about confidence. It's about being able to say yes to a picnic, a grandchild's soccer game, or even dancing in your kitchen again. Because when your muscles and nerves talk clearly to each other, life moves better. And so do you. So if your legs have been feeling sluggish, if you've been tripping, cramping, or just not trusting your steps, look inside. What are you feeding your transmission system? As someone who's walked this road with hundreds of seniors, I promise, it's never too late to smooth the ride. Next time, we'll talk about how to protect your joints and reduce pain so your strong muscles have the foundation they deserve. Until then, eat well, move daily, and trust your body to carry you forward. Because this journey isn't over yet, it's just shifting into a smoother gear. Part 3. The fuel source, foods that provide energy and reduce inflammation. Opening hook. You ever feel like your legs just give out by noon? Like the energy's drained right out of you, and all you're doing is sitting in the kitchen sipping coffee? You might think it's just age catching up with you, but the real reason might be hiding right there on your plate. Introduction. more than just getting old. I remember one of my patients, Miss Doris, who came to see me when she was 76. She used to love gardening but hadn't been able to tend her roses in over a year. "Doc," she said, "by the time I finish breakfast and do the dishes, I feel like I've run a marathon. My legs just won't carry me anymore." It wasn't her heart. It wasn't her bones. It was her fuel, or rather, the lack of the right kind of fuel. You see, energy isn't just about caffeine or sugar rushes. It's about real, sustainable energy, the kind that flows through your muscles and keeps you moving without feeling like you're dragging bricks. And a big part of that is inflammation, the silent thief. It sneaks into our joints, muscles, even our brains, making us feel slow, stiff, and tired. So today, let me take you through the foods that do two powerful things. They energize you and calm the fire of inflammation. 1. Salmon. Nature's anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold, 81 years old and sharp as a tack. But his knees were a mess. Every morning was a battle just to stand up. Then he added grilled salmon to his dinner twice a week. After 2 months, he told me, "Doc, I don't know what's in that fish, but I walked to church without my cane last Sunday." Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA. These are like little firefighters rushing to the inflamed areas of your body. They help reduce the chronic inflammation that builds up over time, especially in the legs and joints. On top of that, salmon provides high-quality protein, which muscles love. And don't forget vitamin D, essential for bones and often deficient in older adults. How to eat it? Grilled with herbs and lemon. Mixed into salads with olive oil. Baked in foil with spinach and cherry tomatoes. 2. Berries. Tiny, mighty, and sweet. You might not expect something so sweet to be so healing. But blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, they're all loaded with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins. These help reduce the oxidative stress that can damage cells and lead to inflammation. One lady I know, Irene, started having a berry smoothie every morning. "It's my purple power shake," she jokes, and she's got more pep in her step these days than many folks 20 years younger. Berry benefits: improve circulation to muscles, reduce stiffness in legs, protect memory and brain health too. How to eat them? In oatmeal with walnuts, blended into smoothies with Greek yogurt, sprinkled over cottage cheese. 3. Olive oil. Liquid gold for your joints. This isn't just for fancy Italian dishes. Real extra virgin olive oil is packed with polyphenols and healthy fats that fight inflammation. It's also one of the key players in the Mediterranean diet, which has been linked to reduced rates of arthritis and heart disease. Remember Miss Doris? One change we made was switching out her vegetable oil for olive oil. Within weeks, she said her hands felt less stiff, and she could actually grip her garden tools again. How to use it? Drizzle over steamed veggies. Mix with lemon juice for a salad dressing. Use for low-heat cooking. 4. Turmeric. The golden root that heals. Now this one's been around for centuries. Used in both Indian and Chinese medicine. The magic is in a compound called curcumin, which is a strong anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. There was a study where seniors with knee pain took a turmeric supplement daily. Within a few weeks, their pain scores dropped significantly, almost as much as those on anti-inflammatory drugs. Simple uses. Add to soups and stews. Mix into scrambled eggs or rice. Stir into warm milk before bed, golden milk. 5. Sweet potatoes. The energy carb that loves you back. Unlike white bread or sugary snacks, sweet potatoes are complex carbohydrates. They release energy slowly, keeping your blood sugar steady and your energy levels even. They're also high in potassium and vitamin C, both important for muscle function. And their vibrant orange color? That's beta-carotene, a powerful antioxidant. I often recommend a baked sweet potato instead of white rice or bread for dinner. It's filling, energizing, and kind to your joints. 6. Green tea. Gentle energy without the crash. Caffeine can be a tricky thing in older age. Too much and you're jittery. Too little and you're dragging. Green tea strikes the perfect balance. It contains a modest dose of caffeine and an amino acid called L-theanine. Together, they provide calm alertness without the roller coaster. Plus, it's full of anti-inflammatory catechins. Swap 1 cup of coffee with green tea and watch how your focus and steadiness improve. Real-life story. The comeback of Mr. Leonard. I'll never forget Leonard, 85, former high school football coach, but recently had trouble just walking to his mailbox. He felt drained every morning, even after sleeping 9 hours. We cleaned up his diet, added salmon, olive oil, swapped white bread for sweet potatoes, and had him drink green tea in the afternoon instead of cola. After 6 weeks, he walked into my clinic smiling. "Doc," he said, "I chased my grandkid around the yard yesterday. Haven't done that in 10 years. The synergy. Why these foods work best together. Each of these foods brings something special to the table, but they're even more powerful when combined. Think of your body like a classic car. Salmon oils your joints. Berries scrub out the rust. Sweet potatoes fuel the engine. Green tea keeps the dashboard lights from blinking. Together, they keep you humming. If you just eat 1 healthy meal a day, make it count. Include at least 2 of these ingredients. Build up from there. Tips to get started today. Make a salmon salad with olive oil vinaigrette and fresh berries. Bake a sweet potato and serve it with steamed spinach and turmeric rice. Sip on green tea with your mid-morning snack. Keep frozen berries in your freezer for easy smoothies. Switch your cooking oil to extra virgin olive oil, one of the easiest changes you can make. Closing words. Let food be your medicine. You don't need to overhaul your whole life overnight, but what you put on your plate has more power than you think. It can fuel your steps, ease your pain, and bring back the joy of movement. Like I always say to my patients, food can either slow you down or set you free. Choose what sets you free. Coming up in part 4, we'll dive into how to absorb all these nutrients better, because eating the right food is only half the story. See you there, and don't forget to keep moving forward. Conclusion. Let this be your turning point. You know, after spending decades in medicine, I've seen too many people give up too soon, thinking weak legs, fatigue, and chronic inflammation are just a normal part of aging. But here's what I believe. Aging may be inevitable, but suffering is not, and what you put on your plate each day can either be your greatest burden or your greatest weapon. From powerful muscle-building foods like Greek yogurt and spinach, to energy-boosting and anti-inflammatory heroes like salmon and bananas, you've now got a roadmap. These aren't exotic or expensive superfoods. They're simple, accessible, and when combined with a bit of movement, they can absolutely transform your strength, stamina, and quality of life. I've shared my thoughts, my stories, and my decades of knowledge, but now, I want to hear from you. Right finger, what foods have made a difference in your energy or leg strength? Right finger, have you tried any of the 3 key foods we mentioned today? Right finger, do you have a go-to recipe or health tip that's helped you feel stronger in your golden years? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And honestly, your insights help not just me, but this entire community of seniors who are looking for real, lasting change. If today's video gave you hope, clarity, or just a little nudge to take better care of yourself, do me a small favor. Hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health tip that could change your life, or someone else's. Until next time, this is Dr. James, reminding you, it's never too late to take the first step towards strength. You got this.